So, Devel, why aren't passwords secure?
Well, again, it's partly because of how they're generated and how they're managed. And what we need to do is to get passwords out of the controls of the employee. Because when IT gives the employee the privilege to create, manage, generate passwords, IT has relinquished control, cybersecurity or security controls to the employee, their weakest link. So why not have a 500 character long password and a different password for every single account and make that password complex and unique and make it change every day? And the only reason we don't do it is because as people, we can't remember them and we can't type them. So let's use technology to do it for us.
So, what do you say about processes or platforms that store your passwords on your browser, like LastPass or something like that?
LastPass and all of those are great consumer products. However, are you familiar with the term big data?
Probably not as well as you are, but
Well, big data basically is one of these servers that just gather all of this information and store, you know, millions and billions and trillions of information. And these are the mother loads that the hackers are going to go after. So you're putting all your passwords that everybody else is putting in their passwords into these accounts. So they're a target, first of all. And the other crazy thing about this is how secure is the logon to that account. And I'm not picking on LastPass in any way. I mean, they've got a good product. There's RoboForm, there's a whole bunch of other ones out there, 1Password. So I just want to make that clear. But we're using them as an example. So you might have a 40 character long password to get into your bank, Bank of America. Great. That's nice and secure. You put it in LastPass. How do you log into LastPass? Oh, I use my password 123456. So you're using a weak passwords to get access to your strong ones. So that doesn't
Wow.
really help you any.
Well, it seems that cybersecurity is pretty complicated. Is there an easier way to break this all down?
Yeah, I break it down as I kind of talked about, where let's look at it from how the hacker's getting in. Let's first of all look at it from the authentication side first. And that's what I'm doing, is how you securely log in and how do you know that the person is who they say they are, using those 3 factors of authentication, which we can go over a little bit more. The next one is, how do you secure the communications channel? That's the LinkedIn's, that's the social media, that's the emails, and you can do different things to secure that. There's a product I like called Inky, which they review every email that comes into you and gives you a warning before you ever really open it or do anything to say, there's something not right. And I get these emails all the time saying that, oh, we need information from you, and then it's coming from somebody in Japan. I don't know anybody in Japan. So I know not to open up those emails.
I need for you to spell whatever that system was, because I didn't get it, and I'm sure our viewers won't either.
Okay, it's Inky, INKY, and
Okay.
it is an email security solution.
It's a paid service, I'm assuming.
It's a paid subscription. It goes into your LinkedIn's or into your Outlook, into your other email services. They have a lot of them, but I've used them a lot. And
so
then you start
about, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I mean, I'm fascinated because we were talking about authentication, which you are referring to then as that you're sure it's me, correct? When I log in.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So, and this is where we talked about, you brought up in the 3 factors of authentication, and this is referred to as multi-factor authentication also. If I use just a PIN or a password, it's somewhat secure. But through social media, through writing things down, through all these other things, it's easy to get that information. So now if I add in one of the other factors, let's say something I have, The odds of a hacker or a cyber attacker getting both the card and my password together really makes it much more difficult. It blows up the odds, not in their favor, to where I'm not going to get hacked. And then you can also add a third one, which is the biometrics, which is the ultimate. Now, a lot of systems like they talk about with the authenticators, and I'm not going to name any names here, but where you use your phone. And I'm sure you've seen these systems where you log in, you type in your password, and then your phone rings and it shows a number and you type in that number. And they try to claim that to be multi-factor, and it's not, because the computer is the gateway. And the example I like to use, and I'm not dating myself, but it's an old story of the old speakeasies, where you'd knock on the door and the little door would slide open and you'd say, "Joe sent me." And the door would open and let you in. So that was the gatekeeper, that guard that wouldn't let you in. Well, that's the computer. So when you look at these types of systems, you're typing in something I know. You look at your screen, oh, I now know something else. And I type in something I know. So to the computer, it's a I know. True multi-factor authentication has to be two dissimilar factors, as we call it. Something I have and something I know. Something I am, something I know. Something I am, something I have. However you put those two together, but they are totally unique.
That's fascinating. So what prevents businesses really, when you see how amazingly easy it could be to hack a business, what is the barrier to implementing better network security?
Well, some of it is cost. And a lot of these systems out there seem very expensive, especially for a small business to implement.
What's very expensive? Like over 1,000, under 1,000?
Oh, I've seen systems that I would love to put in for my little business, and they say, oh, that's $10,000 a year.
Oh, okay.
And some of these systems, to put this in, oh, it's going to take you 18 months to implement, and it's going to be an investment of $100,000 in new servers and new back-end systems. And then you go ahead and you have to go buy the licenses, and that's going to be another $150 per person. And by the way, those licenses only are good for a year, so you got to do it again. And it just becomes very, very expensive and cumbersome and time consuming. And small businesses don't have that capabilities to go and completely update everything.
Would you say confusion? I mean, there's probably so many remedies out there and solutions. Which one do you get? Because IT, I mean, I would think as a business person, as a CEO, as you are of Access Smart, that you could just hand it off to your IT guy and they should know because they're the IT people. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, it's your responsibility as CEO or, as the owner of your company. So how do you determine what to get?
Well, it's the responsibility of everybody, really. But if you hand it over to IT, IT's only going to look at it from the technology side. They're going to look at their networks. They're going to look at encryptions. They're going to look at all this back-end stuff that they can do. But they don't think about the employee having to get access into that. And, they also keep going back to the CEO and CFO and say, oh, I need another $100,000 or I need another $10,000 to go and add this another security. And because the CEO doesn't understand any of this, they basically say, well, wait a minute, I've already gave you $50,000 in the last few months. Why do you need another 10? It's like a never ending cycle to them. And the IT people don't look at the ROI. And as a business person, we're always looking at the ROI, the return on our investment. And I remember going to one conference and this security person was commenting that there is no ROI on security. And my answer to him was, yes, there is. You just don't know how to calculate it.